Charter Commission. All members are present with the exception of Dave Heaney and Denise, who contacted me a little while ago and just said she had a issue and she was going to be miss the meeting, but she did not have any issues on the ballot summary. So let's look over the minutes of the last meeting, Monday, October 19th, that Sandy sent around. And if nobody had any issues, I will accept a motion to accept those minutes of Monday, October 19th.
So moved.
So moved. Second.
Thank you. All in favor. Kevin?
Yes.
Carrie?
Yes.
Keith?
Yes.
Sandy?
Yes.
David? Ren?
Yes.
Janie?
Yes.
And I agree with them as well. All right, the meeting minutes of Monday, October 19th are accepted. Moving on. It's gonna be a fast one tonight. Just an update. Everybody should have seen. I copied everybody, or blind copied everybody. The report and final charter were filed with the Attorney General's office and the Department of Housing and Community Development. I've also sent versions of those to the select board as required. And our webpage was updated by Charlene, I think last week, maybe the week before. And that should tie up all of our loose ends for a little while. I don't see anybody from the general public. So unless somebody is out there who would like to say anything, I'm gonna go ahead and close public comment. Good. All right. The only thing on the real agenda tonight is reviewing the ballot summary. Sandy, do you want to share your screen? Would that be the easiest?
Can you still not see it?
Hang on. Let me refresh it. Oh, you're back. Okay, so you want me to make the edits?
Well, the two, I resolved two of the comments because they were just little wordsmithing, but the other two, I didn't know if you wanted to discuss as a group.
Okay. Yeah. Why don't you, while I work on getting this shared, why don't you just walk everybody through the methodology?
Yeah, so Laura sent me 4 or 5 different towns, their ballot summary. So I went through and kind of dissected them all and then tried to find major themes to include. And I also thought about, the extra things that sort of I thought were a good thing to emphasize for Norton, like the DPW I put in there, other things I thought would be good for people to have when they're voting. I think, and I was imagining the idea was to keep this neutral, right? Just to be a summary and not to be persuasive. So I think I did that. But if anyone disagrees, then, we can change the wording too. But I would imagine it's supposed to be more of a summary and not trying to convince people on the ballot, since there's no, I thought it was weird. One of the towns said a yes vote means, which I thought was kind of weird wording, because then that just opens up to what does a no vote mean. So I didn't word it the way that town did. I just left it as a generic summary.
Yeah, most of the ones that I had looked at, they're very fact-based, they're very dry. It could have even been done in a bullet point. So if, I don't know if everybody's had a chance to run through these yet. It's not very long, so I'm just going to read through it, and I'll stop where I had some comments that we thought we should discuss, and get everybody else's opinion on. Once we're done with this, I'll shoot it over to Lauren to look at. And if she had any comments, I'll forward those out to the group, and then we can go from there. So just starts with the proposed charter, changes our form of government from select board, town manager, town meeting to town manager / town council. Current executive branch power of the select board, town manager is consolidated into the town manager position. The 7 at-large town council members elected to 3-year staggered terms will replace town meeting as the legislative branch. The election of the initial town council will be in June of this year, because we'll be seeing this in 2021, with the town councilors to take office on July 1. Following approval of the charter, a transition committee will be appointed to assist with the implementation of the new charter. School committee, planning board, board of assessors will remain elected positions serving staggered 3-year terms. The housing authority will transition from an elected position to an appointed one. The charter provides a framework to create a new Department of Public Works, which would consolidate existing town departments, including water, sewer, highway, among others. The town council would have policy and rate setting authority of the Board of Public Works, which would eliminate the Water and Sewer Commission. Responsibility for the day-to-day operation would lie with the director appointed by the town manager. The town manager will appoint all department heads, some with confirmation of the town council. Before appointing department heads that support volunteer boards, the town manager will consult with those boards. Town manager will also make all appointments to volunteer boards subject to confirmation by the town council. The charter contains procedures for a budget process that will start earlier in the fiscal year and will require collaboration among the town manager, town council, and school committee. Before voting on the final budget, town council will be required to hold a public hearing. The town manager will also prepare a 5-year financial forecast of town revenue. Several mechanisms are included in the charter to allow for direct voter participation. Registered voters can petition the town council or school committee to hold a public hearing on a specific issue through a citizen petition. Petition to the council to pass a specific measure through an initiative process. Repeal a measure enacted by the council through a referendum process, and remove from office any elected official by petitioning for a recall election. Finally, the charter provides for an automatic review of the charter every 5 years to ensure that it continues to evolve to meet our community's needs. And I had a couple of comments, suggestions, nothing I felt too firmly about, just things I wanted to bring up with the group to see what they thought. But did anybody else have any comments before we dive into mine?
Yeah, I got one. The Department of Public Works.
Mm-hmm.
You have it including the water, sewer, and highway, among others, but I didn't know if you should have tree department and a cemetery in there. I know you got among others, but I didn't know if they should have been listed in there.
Okay. There's certainly no, I don't see any issue with it. Does anybody else? No? All right, so I'm going to include those.
Okay.
Okay. What is it, the tree department, Keith?
Yeah, it'd be a tree department and a cemetery. So you can write cemetery and trees, whatever.
Highway, water, sewer, tree, and is the cemetery department a department?
Yeah, well, yeah, it is.
Okay.
We do have a budget for it.
All right, including water, sewer, highway, tree, and cemetery departments, among others?
That sounds good.
Okay, everybody okay with that?
Are there any other among others? Or
Yes. Well, they could eventually put parks and recs in there. Who knows? I mean, I'm not in. I don't run that right now, but
no, what I'm getting at though, it's saying if you would consolidate, blah 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 blah. I mean, if you listed everything out as consolidated, that's it.
Let me just take a quick look at the what we put in our final. So it said specifically water, sewer, that actually said water, sewer, highway, among others. let me see what the actual charter says. That's in section 9, right? Who's in the transition? Housing authority, special election, time of taking effect. Let's see, in the charter. I remember we had a list of them. Because I remember the moth thing came up, so it's in the charter here somewhere.
Oh yeah, list out the times that don't even exist. Yeah. Maybe leave the among others, I guess, maybe to be safe.
Yeah. Well, let me look for moth. There it is. Board of Public Works. Okay, so have powers and duties vested by general or special law with respect to the following boards, departments, offices: road commission, surveyors of highways, superintendent of streets, water commissioners, sewer commissioners, cemetery commissioners, tree warden, moth cemetery, and forestry department, as well as other such duties that may be determined by the town council. Are we comfortable with the way it's written right now? Do we want to add to it? Do we want to truncate it again?
I don't think we should list them all. I think this is going to be printed on the ballot, so we should keep it as short and sweet as possible.
Okay, so what's there right now is sufficient then? Or removing tree and cemetery?
I think among others captures a lot, so I don't feel strongly either way about tree and cemetery. Sorry, there's a lot of background noise here.
It's okay.
I think you at least got to include the tree and cemetery, and then you can leave the among others so it encapsulates all of them. But I think those are the main ones.
All
That's
right.
my vote.
Okay. Anybody feel strongly the other way? Okay, let's move on. Yeah, David, sorry.
I guess I would take out among others only because we're saying it consolidates the existing town departments, and we just listed them, and the among others don't necessarily exist.
Yeah, no, but there were some that were in there.
How was it? Okay.
Yeah, there's at least one in here that's not.
Oh, okay. All right, then that's fine.
Yeah, it might be two. I don't think we have a moth department, but knock on wood, we never need one. Okay, any other comments from anybody?
I was just curious, and I honestly I don't have it in front of me. When it says very last sentence, but it provides for an automatic review. I gotta be honest, I don't know what the charter actually says on that. Is it truly automatic, or is it have to be appointed?
It says, hang on. Let me get on to the transition.
I just noticed it now, so I apologize. I didn't look into it.
It's prior to the transition. It's not part of, it's a part of a different section.
Is it?
Yeah, well, required as much as you can require, right? So that's as Lauren would say.
Town council shall provide for a review. Or every 5 years or more often as it deems appropriate.
take out the word automatic. I don't think it changes. Just a
Yeah.
price for a review.
There's someplace in here, I think, where we say council. If you don't mind, I'm just going to add town council, just so we're specific. Does anybody have an issue with that?
Are you gonna put that every time? Because there's a
I think so. The first place that tripped me up was right here. Was it further up? Are there others as well?
well, there's another one below in that same sentence.
What's anybody's opinion? I've gotten just so used to writing TC now, so. Is everybody okay with it just staying as council? Just me?
Yeah, I think it's fine. It's certainly grammatically correct.
Yeah. Okay. The only thought I had was with regards to the town manager. Did we want to mention that they are going to continue to manage the day-to-day operations of the town? And then my other part of this was just a comment that in reviewing the other town's ballot summaries, nobody really mentioned there being a strong or a weak. Oh, hang on, looks like we lost Janie. Janie, you back?
Hi, I'm back.
Okay.
Sorry.
Hopefully, I didn't have you leave you hanging out there for a while. I just noticed.
No, I just tried to get back in. My video and audio aren't working great, but the audio is better now, but I still don't see the video working.
Okay.
Sorry.
Can you follow along with the Google Sheets?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it works.
If I don't feel strongly about the first comment, it was just kind of a, do we want to suggest that they'll continue to manage the day-to-day operations, not bound to it by any sense. If nobody agrees, then I'll just resolve this one.
I see your point. It does, the charter itself does certainly speak to a strong town manager, and it's a key component of the charter.
Yeah, I'm not as much concerned about that. Nobody else's did either, so no. That was what I was kind of surprised about. If you were going in terms of just strictly factual things, I would have expected it to pop up in a few places, and it didn't. We may send it to Lauren, and Lauren could say, you should put that in there, but.
Well, first of all, the other towns, a lot of them are going from a town administrator to a town manager. So I think the wording they used there sort of implied it was a stronger position. Or in one case, they went from a town manager to a mayor. But for ours, I guess I was focusing more on what's changing. And I don't know how much managing the current town manager already manages day-to-day operations. That's why I didn't really include that piece of it in there. But I, again, don't object to adding it.
I don't feel very strongly, so I'm inclined to accept whatever the group is happy with, and I can see the point of not pointing out something that didn't change.
I agree.
Okay. Anybody feel strongly about putting those things in? All right, I'm going to go ahead and. Sorry, somebody have something?
I said no.
Okay, deleting that comment. I made a suggestion here, and then, so this was with regards to the citizen participant measures, and it said the thing that tripped me up was registered voters can do the following, and then I remembered we had a public participation option where the person doesn't need to be a registered voter. They could just be a resident. And then Sandy kindly pointed out that they would have to be a registered voter to read the ballot. So I could see the reason for not including that here. But I'll open it up.
Laura, can you say that again? What did you say? They had to be a registered voter, a registered voter to do what? What was that last part that you said?
Yep. So the public participation option within our charter, which is 7.2, you don't actually have to be a registered voter. You can just be a resident and ask to have something put on the agenda.
So the second part of that, Janie, was that the only people that are going to be seeing this are, since it's on the ballot, are the people that are voting, that are registered voters.
Oh, okay.
My audience, I figured, was the registered voters, which is why I only.
Okay. That's the part I missed.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. And just out of, that's a question for another time. Okay. I understand.
So is everybody happy with the way that it's written? Okay. Hearing no issues. I'm going to go ahead and delete this and we'll leave it as is. Any other comments, edits, suggestions, changes to the ballot summary?
Looks like the last line is just a grammatical correction we made there.
Oh, yep.
Maybe-
Oh, I know, because we took out automatic. Got it. Thank you. Anything else? Who wants to be done by 7:30 tonight? Everybody's good?
I'm good.
All right. I'm going to stop sharing that. I will run this over to Lauren and just make sure she's got no issue with it. And then I'll just put it on file so that we have it for next April. Anything else that anybody wanted to talk about tonight?
Just a quick question. Did we ever get anything up on Facebook? I haven't been super active on seeing what's been up there, but did we ever put anything up there about our charters finished and finalized and available?
Nope, I forgot about that. I think it was on my list to do.
Yeah, I also, I thought about it too, because I feel like we had this conversation last time, as far as putting it up there. And I didn't put it up either. And I was wondering if right now was the greatest time. I just don't want it to get lost in this national politics and things going back and forth. I don't know that there'll ever be a great time, but I just didn't think that now was the greatest time to put it up there. I felt like it might get lost in the shuffle of all that's going on. So I don't have an answer as to when would be a great time. I feel like I would wait for us to put it out there. Not to be, not to be that we're hiding it, but I just don't want it to get lost in the shuffle and people's, people are all amped up over the national election and.
There's a lot of political noise out there right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. What I will do is I think on the, I'll have to go back and look at it. Okay. All right. So that can be done at any point, and I'll probably just steal some of the language that we used from the webpage, or at least just pointing people to where they can access it. All right, so I've got that as a to-do. All right, and then anybody else have anything that they wanted to talk about tonight before I ask if we would like to have a nice little break for the holidays? could like a break for the holidays. Not everybody at once.
I'd like a break from 2020.
Working on it. Working on it. We're getting closer. 60 more days to go. I do not see a need for us to meet again this year unless anybody feels very strongly or differently. Okay. Why don't we pick a date for our next meeting for January, and we will convene until then. I was looking at the calendar earlier. So we've got the select board has to choose I forget what the date was. Give me 1 second. They have to choose the town election, no later than January 1st. So by January 1st, we'll know the date. And if they don't pick a date by then it is automatically April 24th. So based on that, I don't think we should do the 4th. That's just coming off New Year's week. And so I will take suggestions for the 11th, the 18th, or the 25th.
I'll just say the 18th.
It's a sorry.
Your day.
Yeah, I just saw that. Hopefully we're at a point where we're actually able to go places and take vacations. That would be nice. So given that, do we want to do the 11th or the 25th?
Either one.
Are we gonna start doing it every other week from that point on?
I don't know. I think we'll have to the first meeting, we'll know what our date is. We can look at it's going to be more building back from election day in terms of what our deliverables are and what we need to accomplish. I don't know if I see us having to meet every other week. We are going to have to go in front of some other boards and committees to try and sell this. And we're obviously going to have to do a little bit of info sessions, discussion, workshopping, things along those lines. So I, figure we can start planning that for January, February, and March. So that would give us 60 days. Why don't we meet on the 11th just to be safe, so we're not scrambling as we're getting closer to election? That work for everybody?
That sounds good.
Okay. All right.
As long as it ain't,
As long as it's not wet. Oh, snowing. See what you can do about that, Keith. We don't want any snow.
What were you doing the 25th? I'm sorry. Were you doing the 25th?
The 11th, Kevin.
11th? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed it. All right, thank you.
That's okay.
I wonder if we're meeting remotely.
It's looking probably like it, yeah. If I had to guess.
I'll bet the house we are.
Yeah. It would be nice, but okay. All right, so let's tentatively plan, well, not tentatively, let's plan our next meeting for Monday, January 11th. Okay. Anything else anybody wants to talk about? It's just 7:30. Quickest meeting ever. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Everybody's in favor? Raise your hands. Wave. All good. All right. We are officially adjourned.